I want to share with you the 7 things that are essential to have in your porn addiction recovery plan, because most traditional approaches focus on telling you what to do after you've already been triggered. But once you start feeling that nagging urge, you're already in the cycle. And so as a therapist, I want to share with you how you can prevent yourself from getting into the cycle in the first place, so you're not exhausted and burned out by trying to resist the urges all the time. The most important first thing that you need in your plan is to understand which type of urge you're dealing with. Most men treat every urge in the same way. They feel the pull, they try and resist it, but not all urges are the same. And if you apply the wrong approach to the wrong type of urge, it's not going to work. You end up feeling it and you think something's wrong with you because you keep struggling, but nothing is wrong with you. You're just using the wrong approach. All urges fall into 3 categories. The first is emotional. Something painful is sitting underneath the surface. It's stress, loneliness, shame, feelings of not being enough, and the urge shows up as a way to escape the pain. It's not really about porn, it's about relief from something that hurts. The second category is habit-based. Your brain has linked certain times or places or routines to pornography. Late at night on the couch, alone when everybody's asleep, the urge just shows up on autopilot because the brain has run that pattern so many times it just fires automatically. The third category is physical. Sometimes it's just your body doing what bodies do. There's no emotional trigger, there's no habit loop. It's just a normal physical drive that needs to be expressed in the right way. So if you apply a habit level tool to an emotional urge, it's not going to reach it. So you can change your environment, sure, you can build new routines, but the urge is going to still be there because the pain underneath the surface hasn't been addressed. You have to match the right tool to the right urge, and when you do that, it'll actually break the pattern. So how you can apply this is to ask yourself the next time you feel an urge, what was going on right before this urge showed up? That answer will tell you which category you're in, and then you'll be able to figure out what step to take based on the category. Now, if you want some help to identify and resolve your specific root cause, then you can download the free guide that's linked below in the description. I'll walk you through exactly how to find it so you can address it and resolve it for good. Number 2, get clarity about what the urge is trying to solve for you. Your brain doesn't turn to pornography by accident. It turns to it because it works. It works to give you fast relief from whatever's sitting underneath the surface. It's the stress that never goes away, the loneliness that you never really say out loud, the feelings of not being enough. If you've ever turned to it after a hard day at work or a late night when the house is quiet, that's just you trying to get out of pain that you don't know how to handle in any other way. You can't get rid of porn as a coping tool unless you understand what you're coping with. After the next urge that you feel, here's how you can apply this. Write down 1 word for what you were feeling right before it showed up. Do that 10 times, and then you'll start to see a pattern. That pattern is the real thing that your plan needs to address. Number 3, get shame out of your plan entirely. Most men think that if they feel bad enough after a slip, it'll prevent them from doing it again. But the cycle is, you slip, the voice starts to be really critical and judgmental, you tell yourself you're pathetic, you'll never overcome this, and then just a few days later you're back in the same place. And the reason why is because shame drives men into hiding, and hiding is where this problem grows. So the more you stay hidden, the more the pressure builds. The more the pressure builds, the next time the urge will hit even harder. Getting shame out of your plan doesn't mean that a slip doesn't matter, because it does. You want to stop this. But there's a big difference between accountability and shame. Accountability says, I made a decision, I need to look at why, and I need to adjust. Shame says that that decision means that you're a bad person. One moves you forward, the other one keeps you stuck. So the sweet spot is to say, yes, I slipped, but what does this tell me about what my plan is missing? What do I need to do to address this? That is real accountability. The moment that you make a slip about your character instead of your approach, then you've walked right into shame. And shame has never freed a single man from this issue. Number 4, your brain can build a new path no matter how long you've been stuck. One of the most common things I hear is, I've been struggling with porn for 20, 30, 40 years sometimes. This is just who I am. And I understand why it feels that way, but it's not true. There's a concept called neuroplasticity. That's a fancy word which means that your brain can build new pathways at any age. Think about a path that goes through a grass field. When people walk that same line over and over, the grass wears down, the path grooves get deeper. But if you start walking on a new line, then a new path forms, and the old one starts to grow back. You don't have to destroy the old path, you just have to stop walking on it. So every time you respond differently to an urge, you're walking on a new path. And every time an old path doesn't get used, it weakens. It doesn't matter how many times you've walked that same line. Not using it and creating a new path is how you start to break it. Number 5, have a plan in place before the urge shows up. Most men try to make a decision in the middle of an urge, and that's the worst time. The pressure is high, your brain is looking for the fastest way out, and the old path is right there. You need a decision that's already made before you get into that moment. So, pick a situation where an urge tends to show up, and decide in advance exactly what you're going to do instead. Let's say the urge shows up late at night after your wife is already in bed. One option to do this differently is to just go to bed with her. You get better sleep, you help her feel more secure, and you skip the highest risk window of your entire day completely. That's not a sacrifice, that's a really good trade. And when you do this, the decision's already made, so there's nothing to fight in the moment. Vague plans fail, but specific ones stick. Number 6, replace trying harder with learning something new. Every man who has tried to stop this through sheer willpower already knows how this ends. In a few days, something difficult will happen, the pressure will build, and then you're right back in the same place, but more worn down than before. The real reason why most men stay stuck isn't because they're not trying, it's because nobody's taught them the skills that actually work. For example, how to sit with difficult emotions instead of running away from them. How to have an honest conversation instead of going quiet. How to catch what's driving an urge before it builds up. These aren't personality traits, they're skills. They can be learned. So here's how you can apply this. Just pick one of these skills. You can get better at naming what you're feeling before it builds. You can have an honest conversation with somebody that you trust. You just practice opening up. You can catch the highest risk moment before it catches you. Just pick one of those. Work on it for 30 days, 2 weeks. One skill practiced consistently will do so much more than trying harder ever could. Number 7, put connection at the center of your plan. Porn tries to fill a void, and it gives you relief or comfort or a way out, things that maybe real life isn't giving you right now. So when most men try to quit, they think the answer is to get harder on themselves, more rules, more force, but that's not what fills the void. There's a researcher named Johann Hari, and he said that the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection. And the men who truly get free are almost always the men who let somebody in, whether it's your wife, who you finally tell the real story to, a friend who hears the actual truth, some version of you just not carrying this alone anymore, because you can't cope your way out of loneliness. You can only connect your way out of it. So this week, tell one person something that's true, something about where you actually are with this, not the cleaned up version, the real one, because one conversation can help you change the trajectory and help you to get the traction that you need to actually break this pattern. So those are the 7 things that you need to have in your plan. My encouragement to you is just start with one of them. Pick one, work on it this month, start to get some traction, feel the momentum, and that'll help you build the hope and the confidence that this is actually possible for you.